All right, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. I'm just getting started, so I'm going to go ahead and embed a new photo. And we are going to learn how to cut out different objects from their backgrounds, and we're going to learn how to do it in a couple different ways. So I'm going to start off with my favorite, the one that works best for me. And this is going to be your fourth tool down in this toolbar. So this is your Essentials toolbar. And I am going to go ahead and use the Object Selection tool. So if you right-click on any of your tools, like I said in a past video, you are able to kind of pull down a drop-down of different tools that might be under that selection. They kind of do pretty much the same thing, or they're in the same type of category. So this one, I'm going to right-click, find my Object Selection tool, and I'm going to go ahead and create a selection over my clock. It might take a minute to load just because it's detecting a couple different things. So, as you guys can see, it did select it. So you can see that there's dancing ants over my project, which means that that is my selection. And in order to remove it from the background, you are going to press Control J, and that makes your selection a different layer. So I'm going to go ahead and press the eyeball right on my original document, and you can see that the background was removed. So I'm going to press Control Z, which is to undo, and I'm going to do that a couple times until I can start fresh, because I'm going to show you how to do it with a different tool. And this time I'm going to use my Quick Selection tool. So if you select your Quick Selection tool, there are 3 different ways you can do it. So you always want to start off with your new selection, and that's right up here, kind of top left, about 1/8 of the way through. And then you can see here there's an add to selection and a subtract from selection, and I'll show you how to use that too. So for this one, I want you to use the new selection, and you can change the size here. I'm going to use 83, but if I wanted to make it bigger, I can make it bigger. If I wanted to make it smaller, I can make it smaller. It just depends how detailed the thing that you are trying to select is. So this is a press and hold, or you can click. I like to press and hold and kind of pretend like I'm painting. That way I know I'm getting everything. So once I'm satisfied with my selection, I'm going to go ahead, again, press Control J, makes that new layer with my selection, and press the eyeball next to my original, and that's another way I can cut out my background. This one is used for if the computer would have a hard time determining which one is part of your selection and what is not. So I like to use this if I'm working with like sports players that have maybe a dark green jersey on a grass background, because it might be harder for the computer to determine what I'm trying to select and what I'm not. So I'm going to press Control Z all the way back to the beginning, and there is another way that you can remove your background. That is through your lasso tool and magnetic lasso tool and polygonal lasso tool. I'm going to show you what the magnetic lasso tool does, because that's what kind of it acts. The line will act like a magnet around your selection. But this is not my favorite tool. If you like it, by all means, go ahead, use it. Nobody's stopping you. But I prefer the other two over this one. Like I said, the magnetic lasso tool really snaps on to what you're trying to select, where the lasso tool is complete freehand. So we are going to, I'm going to go around this and see how it's kind of snapping to my, told you I'm not very good at this one, but it snaps to it. And that is how you would use that magnetic lasso tool. Same thing, Control J, press the eyeball, and there you have it. But the one thing I did want to show you, I know I'm kind of backtracking here, but if you do use your Quick Selection tool, say somebody came by you and they bumped your arm and you kind of moved your thing over here and you're like, oh no, I selected something, I have to start over. You don't have to start over. That's why there's a minus subtract from selection option. So you can click that right up here and you can go ahead and start subtracting what you don't want from your selection. So I hope this was helpful to you, and we will be using this a ton in the future, especially in my class, and this is something that as a graphic designer I've also used a lot. So I hope this helped, and we are going to be going a little bit more in depth in the next couple lessons, so this is really the fundamentals, getting started, and I will see you guys next time.